Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
Pfizer submits data to the Food and Drug Administration to clear its COVID-19 vaccine for use in kids ages 5 to 11. And Ford jolts the auto industry with an $11.4 billion investment in new electric vehicle and battery plants. We're going to have a live report coming up in just a couple of moments. But we begin here at noon with breaking news out of Maryland. The shooter in a deadly attack at the Capital Gazette newspaper will serve more than 5 life sentences. Prosecutors say 41-year-old Jared Ramos opened fire, killing 5 people at the newspaper's office. This was back in June of 2018. Ramos pleaded guilty in 2019 to all 23 counts against him, but he pleaded not criminally responsible, which is Maryland's version of an insanity plea. A jury in July found that he was criminally responsible. The life sentences come without parole. Well, in other news, the biggest investment in Ford's 118-year history will create thousands of jobs with the goal of bringing electric vehicles into the mainstream. Local 4 business editor Rob Maloney joins us now live with the plans that were revealed today. Rod?
Yeah, hi, Rod. You know, this was actually announced last night. They are holding a press conference right now down in Tennessee, western Tennessee. And it's a two-pronged effort here by Ford to start building electric vehicles on a massive scale, particularly trucks in this case. There are 2 places, western Tennessee, and it's about a 6-square-mile campus that they're going to be developing there. And then there are going to be 2 battery plants that are going to go in to Kentucky that are going to supply the batteries for the electric vehicles that they will build there. Now, I can tell you that Michigan sure would like to have gotten this factory, but there had been a lot of lobbying by a lot of different places to get this facility. And in fact, what Ford chose was a location that was originally meant for a Hyundai plant that went to Mississippi a couple of years ago. So it's one of those things where Ford has decided it wants to build down there. And of course, they have Kentucky truck plant down there anyway, and so it kind of expands their operation, their base of operation there. And remember, of course, that many of the batteries will be designed right here in Detroit at the train station where they're building their hot new high-tech center there. Now, having known Bill Ford for 25 years, this is a day that's very important. It has been very important to him because he has been about the ecology, about the environment, but also about making his company very strong. And so his words to the audience in West Tennessee just about a half hour ago resonate in terms of what it is that he has always wanted to see happen with Ford Motor Company.
To build electric vehicles that have, and the batteries that power them on a massive scale, right here in Tennessee and right here in the United States of America. Anybody who knows me knows that my 2 passions have always been developing great vehicles and protecting the environment. Well, these passions have been in tension for my entire life, but no longer. Technology and innovation have brought us to the point where we don't have to sacrifice one for the other.
And so there's going to be another announcement. Bill Ford and the group will be heading over to Kentucky to talk about the battery plant. That'll happen at 4 o'clock this afternoon. We're going to be taking a step back, taking a look at this, what it all means and how things go. And we'll certainly have updates for you coming up on Local 4 News at 5. Reporting live in Dearborn, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All right, Rod, thanks for keeping us updated. In other news this afternoon, former U of M great and NBA Hall of Famer Chris Webber is now taking a shot at business. Webber broke ground today on a cannabis facility in Detroit. The $50 million operations is a training facility is set to be built on 22nd Street, right near Michigan Avenue and the Fisher Service Drive. The goal of the facility is to provide jobs and opportunities for underrepresented members of the community.
I really want to thank all of you business owners that's been here. You guys have been putting your sweat, your equity, your time into the ground here in Detroit. So all I hope that I can do is seamlessly come in and work with you and have a successful business here.
The first phase of completion is expected in March of 2022. So Pfizer has submitted data to the Food and Drug Administration to clear its COVID-19 vaccine for use in kids ages 5 to 11. The FDA is expected to take at least a few weeks to analyze the data collected in a phase 3 trial that included more than 2,000 children. If the FDA believes the results are satisfactory, they will then grant emergency use authorization. Pfizer said its 2-dose COVID vaccine has shown to be safe, while prompting a, quote, well-tolerated and robust antibody response in a younger group. The company said the vaccine also caused similar side effects to those seen in adults, which includes arm soreness and fatigue. Booster shots have started rolling out nationwide for those who are eligible, but despite guidance from the CDC, there's still a lot of confusion about who should actually get them. Let's check in with Gabe Gutierrez. He has more from Charleston, West Virginia, which actually has the highest COVID-19 hospitalization rate in the country right now.
This hospital in Charleston, West Virginia, just started offering COVID booster shots to people age 65 and older. But not far from here at the county health department, they're offering them to people age 18 and older. It's just one example of the patchwork of rules across the country to get that third shot. President Biden yesterday rolled up his sleeve at the White House to get his Pfizer booster shot, but the battle over vaccine mandates is intensifying. A federal appeals court green-lighted a vaccine mandate in New York City, the nation's largest school system, for teachers and staff. And overnight, authorities said that teachers had until this Friday to get vaccinated, but there is strong oppositions from the teachers' unions. Still, across the country, new COVID cases have been dropping, but in places with low vaccination rates, hospitalizations and deaths are still high. Meanwhile, here in West Virginia, the governor says that more than 12,000 booster shots have been administered over the last few days. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, Charleston, West Virginia.
All right, Gabe, thank you. New at noon, a former family member shares her experiences with University of Michigan Dr. Robert Anderson. Her name is Terry Anderson, and she's the ex-daughter-in-law and the mother of the late doctor's only grandchildren. She detailed some of the stories that she was told about Anderson's interaction on campus. Anderson says that her son's suicide in the hundreds of student athletes sharing their stories is what led her to come forward.
I always felt uneasy about Bob's interactions with both of my children, especially my son. When I tried to voice my concerns, I was immediately shut down by family members, friends of the family, the courts, attorneys, therapists, and doctors. Because how could anyone criticize this beloved Michigan doctor or his family?
More than 850 former athletes have come forward about alleged abuse by the doctor. The case alleging State Representative Joelle Jones brought a handcuff key into jail will proceed into circuit court. Jones was not in court today, but his lawyers waived a probable cause conference. The drunk driving case against Jones is on hold pending the results of a mental health evaluation. And Detroit City Councilman Andre Spivey is set to appear in court today. Spivey is facing a federal bribery charge over allegations that he accepted more than $35,000 to be influenced and rewarded for his votes. His plea hearing is scheduled for 3 o'clock this afternoon. Top military leaders testified before Congress today on the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. That hearing took a turn when General Mark Milley defended calls to China, where he told Chinese officials Trump would not attack them, saying other officials were aware of the calls and they were not intended to, quote, usurp authority. Usurp meaning to undermine authority.
At no time was I attempting to change or influence the process, usurp authority, or insert myself in the chain of command. But I am expected, I am required to give my advice and ensure that the President is fully informed on military matters.
The Senate.
So the hearing continues right now, and we're going to keep you updated on local foreign news a little bit later this afternoon. So to come here at noon, though, what's next? Uncertainty on Capitol Hill after the GOP blocks a bill that would keep the government open and extend its credit. Brandon?
80s yesterday, back to reality today. Your weather, boring, normal, average. And that's okay. You're going to like it, plus a weekend update coming up.